Namaste. I am Devat Maharaja and I would like to welcome you all to my YouTube channel called Brahma Gaje, a channel that is dedicated to philosophical discourse. Please do not forget to click on that subscribe button and also that like button. In this episode, I am providing a summary of day 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Katha that was held here locally in Maryland at a temple named the Greater Baltimore Temple, located in Finksburg, Maryland. And the Katha was conducted by the High Priest of the temple, Acharya Sri Padmanabh Joshi. This is the concluding episode, the last day summary, the day 9 summary of Srimad Bhagavad Katha. And this will conclude the series of 9 episodes that I was planning to record for each day summarizing the Katha. And this is the final episode of this series. On this day, on this last day, day 9, Panditji continued with the story of Maharaj. How once Krishna was teasing the gopis and disappeared. And all gopis were heartbroken as if their life had vanished from their bodies. They were lifeless completely. And upon praying, Krishna finally arrived and danced with them. The occasion was such that Lord Shiv, the destroyer god, took a form of a gopi and danced with Krishna. A poetry by Narsimha Mehta comes into the mind that Tal shu talne melave sundari kar sahi kanaji sang nache. Gopis matched the beats of Krishna with their own beats as if finally they were becoming one, and holding hands they were dancing in joy. Panditji then talked about the concept that Krishna is indescribable. There is nothing that can fully comprehend this ultimate truth. It can only be experienced, realized. A poetry by Narsimha Mehta comes into the mind that Ark udyotajam timira bhase nahi neti neti kahi nigama bole. The Vedas say neti neti, the knowledge, the discipline, the domain of knowledge, the knowledge itself cannot fully comprehend the Krishna. And they say, this is not it, this is not enough, this is not enough, this is not enough. There is not a definition that fully comprehends and satisfies the ultimate truth, the higher truth, Krishna. Then the story of Malla Yuddha comes. At this time, Kans, the demon king, has realized that his 2 nephews, Krishna and Baldev, are there, and he sends his minister Akrur to fetch them, because Kans has arranged this great wrestling fight, Malla Yuddha, in which he thinks that his wrestlers will kill Baldev and Krishna. Akrurji goes, talks to Nandaraj and says, finally the Krishna has to return to Mathura to fight in this battle, in this match, wrestling match that is held by the king Kans. Vasudevji brother is Akrur. So Akrur is the brother of Vasudevji, also the actual father of Krishna, and also the minister of Kans. So therefore Akrurji was sent. Nandarajji recognizes this and finally realizes that Krishna has to fulfill his other duties and sends Krishna with him. The entire Vrindavan, Gokul, they were all heartbroken. And it was as such that they laid in front of the chariot as if telling Akrurji that ride upon our dead bodies, but you will not take Krishna. Krishna finally shows them his Virata Swarup, his true and ultimate form, the form of Lord Vishnu, and makes them realize that he is here to annihilate evil. He has to do his duty, and convinces them, and finally they let him go. Then the story of Dhobi's Nirvan comes. This Dhobi, this cloth washer, is in Mathura, and Baldev and Krishna are walking, seeing this great town, this great kingdom, Mathura, and they see this washer washing the beautiful clothes of Kans. They go to the Dhobi and say, please give us these clothes. And Dhobi says, no, this belongs to the king Kans. These clothes belong to him. Krishna says, oh, so be it. And punches Dhobi on his head. The Dhobi, the washer, goes into the earth and the water comes out. He goes that deep that he's then therefore instantly killed or revived. This is the same Dhobi. This is actually his punishment, because in Ram Avatar, the same Dhobi had accused the great mother Sita that she was impure because she was kidnapped by Ravan. And at that time, Ramji had then therefore let go of Sita. But same Dhobi in this life was punished for wrongly accusing Sitaji. So again, the two stories here connect from two different areas. Then comes the story of Kubja's revival. This lady who was very kind-hearted, very nice, but was called Kubja, ugly, because her body was crooked. She could not walk up straight. So, as Krishna and Baldev were walking in Mathura, they see this lady carrying a container. In that container is sandalwood paste. So Krishna stops her and says, oh, beautiful woman, where are you going? And Kubja is mesmerized by such sentence, because everybody called her Kubja, ugly. Here Krishna is calling her beautiful. So at first she thinks this boy is making fun of me. So she says to Krishna, are you making fun of me? I am crooked, I am handicapped. Krishna says, you are no longer handicapped. Please give this paste, the sandalwood paste, to me and put some paste on my forehead. And Kubja says, this is for Maharaja Kans. Can you please give me this do this favor to me and put this paste on my forehead? But I am not able to stand up straight, Krishna. You are tall. How can I do this? Don't worry. And Krishna holds her hand, and as she tries to put the sandalwood paste on the forehead of Krishna, she is revived. She is no longer crooked. She is actually now turned into this beautiful woman. She dances with joy, thanks Krishna. She is no longer Kubja. She has been revived. The touch of truth is such that all impurities automatically get destroyed. Any abnormalities, any impurities no longer stay with you if you shall touch the ultimate truth, the higher truth, that is Krishna. And that is really the meaning of this story. She's no longer handicapped because truth will free you, will not keep you handicapped. Then the great battle, the great wrestling match happens, in which Krishna and Baldev kill the two great wrestlers, Charun and Mushtik. And finally, upon their killing, Kans was also killed. And thus, the great evil was annihilated. Krishna and Baldev go to the prison of Kans and revive Kansa's father Ugrasen, who was imprisoned by his own evil son Kans. And then finally they revive their own parents, Devaki and Vasudev. Time goes by, Krishna and Baldev grow older, and now it's time for their education. But before that, they are given the Yagnopavita Sanskar, the Janoi Sanskar. This is the coming of age Sanskar, in which now the boys enter the stage of learning education. And they go to this university in Ujjain under the great sage Sandipani. Krishna and Baldev learn many lessons there from the Gurudev and also help rescue, find their lost son. And this was the gift, dakshina, the fees of their learning to their master, Sandipani. Then comes the story of Jarasan, who is very angry because his two daughters, Asthi and Prapti, were widowed. Two daughters, Asthi and Prapti, were the wives of Kans, and Kans was killed by Krishna. So he was very angry and he wanted to take vengeance. Jarasandh then continues to attack Krishna. And Bhimsen was tasked to kill Jarasandh, and thus Jarasandh was eventually killed as part of the plan. Again, the other master plan was Jarasandh was this great king of Magad. If he had joined the great war of Mahabharata, it would have been very difficult for Pandavas to win. So Krishna cleverly arranges this duel in which Bhimsen challenges, disguising as Brahmin, Jarasandh. And Jarasandh would do anything for Brahmins if they ask. And the king was fond of wrestling, and Bhimsen challenges him in wrestling. And Krishna guides Bhimsen how to kill Jarasandh, and thus Jarasandh was killed by ripping his body in two parts and throwing two parts in the opposite direction. Then comes the story of Narakasur. This great demon had captured 16,000 women, and they were enslaved, molested by him. And Krishna kills the demon Narakasur and revives the 16,000 women. And all the women then beg to Krishna that please accept us, because nobody would. We were molested by this demon. Nobody would accept us. And Krishna says, do not worry. I will take you as my wives. Now here, Vishnu Puran and Bhagavad Puran, the number is 16,000 or 16,100. Total wives of Krishna is 16,108 in some Purans, which is also connected to all of our nerve systems. So each nerve, therefore, may be the nerves of the universe. He is the maintainer God, and he is the nerve holder, the Lord of all nerves. That is one symbolic meaning, but otherwise, Krishna, in this case, in the story, rescued 16,000 women and married them, killing the demon Narakasur. Then the story of Muchkund Raja comes in which the Maharaja Muchkund had fought the great war and helped the gods, in which he was given this boon that you would sleep, you would rest, because he was so tired from the war that he wanted to sleep, and therefore he was given this boon. But the boon was also that if anybody disturbed his sleep, that person would perish. Krishna knew this, so Kalyavan, the demon, was once chasing Krishna, and Krishna knew this. So he goes into the cave where Muchkund Raja was sleeping and hides, giving his top cloth and putting it on the sleeping king, as if it would look like to the demon that Krishna is sleeping. Finally, the chasing Krishna, the demon enters the cave and mistakenly thinks that this person sleeping here in the cave is Krishna, because again his cloth was matching the cloth of Krishna. Krishna had put that cloth on him. So he disturbs the sleep of Muchkund, and Muchkund Raja wakes up, and there goes the demon Kalyavan. He's burnt. Then the story of Rukmani Vivah comes in. The Rukmani, the sister of Rukmi, was to be wedded to this demon king Shishupal. And she did not want to, because she was in love with Krishna. She had heard so many things about Krishna that she was mentally already wedded to Krishna. So she writes to Lord Krishna that, come and rescue me. And Krishna goes and abducts Rukmani. Thus the Rukmani Vivah. He marries Rukmani. Now, Krishna, with finally all 16,108 wives, including Rukmani, are now living in Dwarika. And Narad, the son of Brahma, who is all-knowing, wonders, how does Krishna give justice to this many wives, 16,108 wives? How does that even happen? How can one really do that? Krishna is only one person. Again, for a second, not realizing that he is the maintainer God. He is everywhere. He is omnipresent. But again, sometimes the Maya of Lord Vishnu is such that even the great sages like Narad get puzzled. So he goes to Dwarika, but realizes that with every wife is one Krishna. Similar to how in Maharaj, with every gopi there was one Krishna, now with every wife there is one Krishna. Krishna has given equal justice, equal love to each and every wife. All 16,108 wives. Narada realizes that this is the maintainer God, the Vishnu, and thus acknowledges that. Then Panditji talked about this concept that Radha and Krishna are not different. Radha is not the wife of Krishna, yet she was deeply in love with Krishna. A song by my mother's elder sister, my elder aunt, scholar of Indian classical music and Sugam Sangeet, Srimati Harsha Vaidya. Her song, her composition comes into the mind that Bej Pagla Pade Che Shukam Jare Rase Rame Radha Nesham. Why does one see only two steps when Radha and Krishna, two separate bodies, seemingly are dancing together? Yet on the sand, the footsteps are only two, not four. Technically, there should be four steps. Two bodies dancing together. Yet, we see only two steps. Radha and Krishna, therefore, are one, as Panditji talked about, and therefore, you only see two steps. It's only one entity, not two. Such is their love. Then Panditji talked about Kurukshetra Gaman, in which now finally Krishna goes to Kurukshetra and performs his duty related to Mahabharata. Then we learned about the story of Rishabdev and his 9 sons and other sons who ruled the earth. Rishabdev is the founder of Jaina Sampradaya. Then after that, we learned about the story of Maharaja Sagar. Sagar Maharaja creates all the 7 oceans. Therefore, the oceans are called Sagar. Upon his name, Sagar, comes the name Sagar. Sagar means oceans. Then Panditji talked about the concept that this universe revolves around the concept of karma, the good karma and the bad karma, and their consequences. And in the previous episodes, we have discussed how you can never be free from doing karma. You will always be doing karma. Breathing itself is a karma. But detaching yourself from the karma will eventually lead to liberation, nirvana, moksha, because you will not be bounded by the karma. आपने अपना धर्म संभालवा, कर्मनो मर्मते लेवो विचारी. Narsi Mehta's poetry. We shall mind our own business and do our duties diligently and realize our karmas accordingly. Then we learn about bhakti. In the previous episodes, we had learned that bhakti, devotion, has 2 sons, Jnana and Vairagya, knowledge and detachment. And realizing this concept, you shall devote yourself to your work in such a way that you are detached, and also you seek the true knowledge through devotion, bhakti. Then we learned about how Hansa Swarup are Sanak Rishi. This bird, Hans, is a form of Sanak Rishi because the bird is so pure. Then we learned about the story of Datta, Gurudev Datta, the trinity in Hinduism, in Indian civilization, in which the maintainer god, the creator god, and the destroyer god are all one. And how Gurudev Datta made so many teachers. As an example that you can learn from anybody, including a dog. Gurudev Datta had made a dog his teacher. Again, if you see an opportunity to learn from any creature, big or small, irrespective of your ego, you shall do that. Including a prostitute. There is a story of prostitute named Pingala who teaches Gurudev Datta that you shall have no expectations in life. Having any expectations at all from anybody, your kins, your friends, or anybody, is useless. Have no expectations from anybody. If you free yourself from any of those expectations, you shall be happy. You will not suffer. That is the lesson taught by a prostitute named Pingala to Gurudev Datta. And that is where we ended day 9. The story of Srimad Bhagavat is endless. I recommend that you took upon this great Puran and read it yourself. In the end, the story of Srimad Bhagavat, or stories of Srimad Bhagavat, will enlighten you. A poetry by Narsi Mehta comes into the mind that Vrikshama bijatu, bijama vrikshatu. In tree, you are the seed. In seed, you are the tree. The knowledge and its fulfillment are together, are one. From Sagun and Nirgun, when you realize both entities, the propertylessness, the Nirgun, and full of properties, Sagun, and when you lift yourself beyond those two areas, you shall then find the higher truth, the ultimate truth. Because Sagun and Nirgun are just simply two sides of the same coin. They cannot be without each other. If there is Sagun, there is Nirgun. If there is property, then there is also the propertylessness. But the higher truth, the ultimate truth, is beyond Sagun and Nirguna. It embodies both. It embodies that seed and the germination of that seed into a tree. Therefore, as Narsimha Mehta said, Bijama vrikshatu, vrikshama bijatu. That is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much. Namaste.